Hello dear students, good morning. Today we start ecology again, and this is my lecture number 8. Today we are going to study in detail the topic of biogeochemical cycles in the ecosystems. In this connection we will study different type of biogeochemical cycles, for example carbon cycles, water cycles, phosphorus cycles, nitrogen cycles, and their process of manipulations and execution in nature in an ecosystem for the integration of ecosystem in biosphere as a whole. Biogeochemical cycles in the ecosystem. Now we see that unlike energy, all matter is cycled from non-living reservoir to living system and then back to non-living reservoirs. Matter moves through ecosystem in biogeochemical cycles, that is cycling of elements between the reservoir of inorganic compounds and living matter in an ecosystem. For example, some of the atoms present in the earliest living things were reused in the giant dinosaurs and are still being used in plants and animals of today. This is such an amusing thing. And in atoms in our body or cells of the tissues today existing are those primitive, what you call atoms of the elements which came or passed on in our body through the process of just genetic continuity or gene continuity. So we know that in biogeochemical cycles, living substance of all living organism is composed of chiefly carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen, etc. And these four elements are so intimately related that inflow and outgo of them is very important in balance of ecosystem in nature. They form one great cycle called carbon, hydrogen, oxygen cycle combinedly. In the same way, the nitrogen cycle, water cycle, phosphorus cycle, sulfur cycles and other nutrient cycles are of great importance. Carbon cycle. The source of carbon for organism is the 0.03% of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide is also dissolved into water. Carbon dioxide is incorporated into organic compounds during photosynthesis by the green plants. Through successive levels of feeding by organisms, carbon compounds move through the food chains in an ecosystem. So here is a diagram of simplified diagram of carbon cycles. We see here that chief actor of these cycles is atmosphere and green plants. We see that photosynthesis and combustion producing carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and those carbon dioxide are photosynthesis is producing oxygen in the atmosphere, and sometime plant also respire and produce carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So by photosynthesis and combustion, carbon dioxides are produced into the atmosphere, and respirations of animals also produce carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. And after the death of different animals, decomposing of waste and dead remains of the living matters produces also carbon dioxide, and their depositions also lead to the fossil fuel formations, and as a whole part of the soil formations also. Carbon dioxide is returned to the atmosphere when organisms respire. The decay activities of decomposer also release carbon dioxide, as I have just told you in explaining the diagram. Carbon may be trapped in limestone and fossil fuels, for example coal and oil, only to be released by weathering and combustion process. Yes, I told you in the diagram. In aquatic system, some of the carbon dioxide combine with water to form carbonic acid. As this reaction is reversible, carbonic acid can supply carbon dioxide to plants for photosynthesis. When carbon dioxide levels in water decreases, carbonic acids can also release carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. We saw in the diagram. Now, very much universal phenomena of cycles is a water cycle. All living organisms require water, and the water cycle or hydrological cycle describes the continuous movement of water on and above, on or below the surface of earth. Plants wouldn't grow without precipitations, that is water or downpour or rain, snow and freezing rain, sleets and hailing, etc. And thus anything consuming the water not survive, and so forth. Thus anything consuming the wouldn't survive, and so forth. And thus anything consuming the water without consuming the water would not, without anything without consuming water. Thus anything. Thus anything H4UT without water cycle. All living organisms require water, and water cycle or hydrological cycle describes the continuous movement of water on or below the surface of water. Water cycle. All living organisms require water, and water cycle or hydrological cycle describes the continuous movement of water on or below the surface of earth. Plants would not grow without precipitation, that is water released from the cloud in the form of rain, snow and sleet and hailing. Water cycle is the path that water follows as it moves around earth in different states. We see that liquid water is found in ocean. So here is a simplified diagram of water cycles. We see that evaporation from the surface of different water bodies, chiefly oceans, and also transpiration gives water or humidity in the atmosphere, and after condensation, cloud formations, and then precipitation or downpour in the form of rain, and then on the surface of rocks and earth, water are just collected and then again recycles in the same way on an ecosystem.